Okay, so as a baseline, I like to call these discussions, not talks. So if you guys have something that you hear that clicks, give me a high five, give me an amen, give me something. Give me feedback to know you're hearing what I'm saying, okay? You guys good with that? Hey, all right, good. All right, so today we're going to talk about exercise science. We're going to get super in-depth into a bunch of things that really don't mean anything for you. Okay? And what I mean, first off, before we talk about that, is we're going to get into my story just real quick because I don't have a lot of time. I'm 51 years old. I just turned 51 a couple weeks ago. I started this journey in my late 30s. Since then, I've lost about 70 pounds. I've reversed IBS, urgent bowels. There's a bunch of different things that have just completely changed in my life. With the combination of fitness, I found fitness first. And then about 5-6 years later, I found the nutrition side of things, put the two together, and that's what answered all of my questions. The combination of the two. So if you're thinking nutrition is everything, you're missing half of the equation. If you're doing a lot of fitness stuff and you're not focusing on your nutrition, you're missing half the equation. Your body is designed to process nutrients that support the activity that you're doing. That's one of the main messages I want you to take home. If you're only doing half, you're only doing half. Okay? We're going to talk about a bunch of things. All these words up here. These are just a handful of some of the terms that you may hear when we talk about exercise science. We talk about the science of how your body works, the science of improving metabolic function, and fitness. Okay? Phosphogene system, accuracy, transferability, sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, hypertrophy. Have you heard of any of these words? Proprioception, right? All of these things, okay? In case you guys haven't heard, if you follow me on social media, I'm working on book number 3, okay? And one of the concept, the issue, okay, speak up louder. Okay, I'll speak louder. Hi! Okay, I'm working on book number 3, and the concept behind book number 3 is taking some of this stuff and breaking it down to what really matters. You don't need to understand the gears of a clock in order to tell time. You don't need to understand what spring tension is, gear ratios, and how they equate to how the hand moves in the clock, right? You just need to know, what does it mean when someone says half past the hour, or a quarter till, or a quarter after, or how to look at the numbers and tell what time it is, okay? And that's what we do. We tend to get into the gear ratios and all the specific mechanisms of how our body works, and we forget that if we just stick with the basics and understand what good nutrition is at a base level, what good movement is at a base level, we're going to be far better off, and it's going to make it a lot less complicated. Who wants their journey to be less complicated? Reduce some stress as you're going through it, right? That's what this is all about, okay? Let's take that blanket of complication off of what we're doing. All right, so we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about the concepts of technique, consistency, and then intensity. We're going to talk about specific adaptation to imposed demands. It's a really fancy way of saying your body will adjust to the things you make it adjust to. And then we're going to talk about general adaptation syndrome, which is how your body adjusts to the things that you make it adjust to. Okay? There's one main takeaway that I want you to have from this message. And that is, no matter where you are, your body is designed to help you improve. And it's not as big of a mountain to climb as a lot of you think it is. Okay, when people hear the word fitness, they think gym membership, they think heavy weights, they think do all of this hard stuff. Your fitness journey can start just by getting out of your chair more often. Because that's something more than what your body is currently doing. And that's the message I want you to take home this week, today. Okay? Who's been here? Training wheels? A little kid riding on the bike? Okay? We talk about the process of change and adaptation. We have to start somewhere. Right? We can't go from, hey, I want to learn how to ride a bike, to I'm going to do fancy BMX tricks. Right? We have to start with the training wheels, and then we progress. I've used the analogy before about juggling. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to learn how to juggle and then pick up 3 chainsaws. It might be fun to watch for 30 seconds. Okay, but I'm going to start with 1 or 2 balls. I'm going to learn how to do that. Then I'm going to go to basketballs and small balls and who knows what else. And then work up to, with practice and training and time. It doesn't happen overnight, does it? No. It takes time. How many here are over 30 years old? How many of you have been sick for most of that time? Or unhealthy for a lot of that time? Okay. How many think it's going to take them a year to get healthy and to become optimal? 6 months, right? Okay. Just relating back to my story, I started in my late 30s. There was a giant change when I introduced fitness. There was an exponential change when I added nutrition. For the past 5 years, I've been carnivore. For the past 5 years, I have not had a single health issue. No injuries, no IBS, no urgent bowels. All of the issues that I had when I was just doing one, not the other, completely gone. I've been able to live the dream, the vision that I've always wanted to have once I combined the two. But it took me 6, 7 years to get there. 6 or 7 years, guys, think about that. It didn't happen overnight. It took a process of time, patience, mistakes, and learning, and a willingness to try different things. Okay?
Amen.
All right, question number 1, am I doing it right? We talk about technique, consistency, and intensity. The first question in the process of doing something for your health, doing something for your fitness is make sure you're doing it right. If I'm not doing it properly, then I'm not getting the effect that I want. If I'm squatting improperly, what I'm doing is I'm moving my body in a way that's reinforcing bad movement, not activating the muscles, not training myself how to move in real life. Because what is exercise? When you guys hear the word exercise, what do you think?
Sweat.
Sweat? Sweat. All right. Popping balloons. What's something else? Moving? Activity, work. Okay. Hard. There we go. Exercise in a controlled environment is your opportunity to prepare yourself for life, which is an uncontrolled environment. The time that you take to work out, follow a program, and do the things that you want to do to improve your ability to handle all the things that life throws at you, which is a lot, whether it's physically, emotionally, or whatever, because there's an emotional, there's a mental aspect to training as well, which I wish I could get into today. That's a whole nother talk. When you start doing something, you have to look at it as I'm not just exercising to exercise. I'm exercising to train my body how to do things when there is stress in the equation. Okay? That's where technique comes into play. Learn how to do it right when you're in control, and you'll be more likely to do it right when you're not in control. That's what technique is about. Yep. Okay? We got an example of somebody learning, practicing technique. Technique is something you have to practice, repetition. It takes time. What's something else that's involved in this picture? Starts with an F, feedback. He's not doing it on his own. He's practicing. He's getting feedback from a coach. There's a lot of different ways to get feedback. Record yourself as you move. Watch other videos. Record yourself. Watch a video. Did I do it the same way as a video? Do it in front of a mirror. Get a personal trainer. Get a coach. Have someone look at you to give you that one-on-one specific feedback. We learn by visual cues. We learn by verbal cues. We learn by physical cues, things that we can feel. So get as much feedback on your journey as possible. Some of you guys have coaches, communities, and that goes across the board. We're talking fitness, but that goes for nutrition, that goes for mindset, that goes for all of it. Feedback and engagement with other people to bounce your experience off of is very, very important in the process. Everybody with me on that? Yep. Okay. Question number 2. This is where consistency comes into play. I can learn how to do it right, but if I can't do it right more times than not, then I'm not at a point where I can then increase intensity, which we'll talk about next. You must be able to perform things to the point where you're not thinking about it anymore. How many people are here this weekend thinking about if they're going to stay on their nutrition plan? There's not enough hands raised. Okay? The struggle is real. We're surrounded by people who aren't doing what we're doing. We're surrounded by food that doesn't support what we're doing. So there is a constant challenge of a reassessment. Is this what I really want to do? Am I going to make that choice to get that parfait that's in the bakery section of Windjammer versus just go get the eggs and bacon or whatever it may be? Okay? Being able to make the right choice more often than not is key in order for you to move to the next level. If you try to move to the next level before that, it's going to blow up in your face. Okay, consistency is key. Am I doing the right thing every single time? Don't practice till you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. Okay? If you're still trying to get it right, then you're still working on that consistency. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a phase. You're going to go through that. You're going to move to the next level, and then have to go through it all again. But you're at a different level now. You're working on different things, different goals. Okay? Question number 3 when we talk about technique, consistency, and intensity. How can I do it better? What can I do when we talk about fitness? What can I do to increase the challenge? Because am I going to get better if I stay within my comfort zone?
No.
Am I going to get better if I don't do more than I've done before?
No.
You have to do more if you want to do more.
You have to get out of the box.
You got to get out of the box. Exactly. All right? The resistance, complexity, or speed that is applied to you, that you apply, or that you feel like you're applying, is what we call intensity. So when we're talking about exercise, the weight that you use, how fast you move it, how many reps you do, how long you're doing the work, how you feel. I worked out yesterday at the gym on the boat. It felt hard. It was really hard. It's been 2 days of traveling, all the things happening this weekend, and my body just was not as ready as it normally is. My state of recovery was not as good as normal. So I didn't do as much work, but I felt like I did a lot of work. So how I felt was a different level of intensity. The actual work that I did was a lower level of intensity. You guys see how that works? There's a lot of different overlapping layers in how that works, but understanding that I had to do something anyways to maintain that habit and stay outside that box. The minute you feel like you don't want to do it and you don't do it, now you're moving, you're willingly moving yourself back inside your comfort zone, and that's where progress stops. Okay? Intensity is key in the process. When we combined technique, intensity, and technique, what do we get? Progress. If we are too far out of balance between, what's over here? Intensity and technique, we can be consistently doing something hard, but we're not moving in the right direction. We can consistently be doing something correct, but not applying enough intensity to actually progress forward. We need a balance between all three in order to move in that line in the direction we want to move. Does that make sense? Okay, good. It makes sense to me. This is really challenging sometimes to take these ideas and be like, I hope people get this, you know? All right, we're talking about the improvement of your performance. This is me about 12 years ago. 65 pounds, learning how to do a clean. Do I look very coordinated there? All right, the process takes a long time. That's 12 years ago.
That was a little far away.
All right.
Chest up.
13 years ago, I guess, yeah. All right, this is this year. 100 more pounds after 12 years of technique, intensity, consistent practice over time. It looks a little more coordinated, a little smoother, and it's a lot more weight, right? And I definitely wasn't working as hard. Okay? That's because I was following, when you follow the technique, consistency, intensity paradigm, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to progressively improve your performance. And that's where specific adaptation for imposed demands comes into play. Your body will adapt to the stimulus, or the stress is another word, that you put on it. Okay? So if I'm currently at a state where my average day consists of me sitting on the couch all day long, just getting up more often and walking up and down the stairs, or going in my yard and doing some yard work that I haven't done in the last 6 months, is going to be an added physical stress that's going to improve my ability to, guess what? Walk up and down the stairs and go in the yard and do yard work. It's specific to the things that you want to get better at. So your fitness, we talk about that perception that fitness is this giant hill that we have to climb. Your fitness journey is 100% your fitness journey. It should be based on, what do you want in your life to get better? If your goal is I want to play with my grandkids and not feel like crap for 2 days afterwards, that is the goal that you need to be working for. If your goal is I want to be able to go hiking with my friends and feel great throughout the hike and have energy when I get home to still hang out and do things with my family, then that is what you're working towards. There is no objective, this is what it means to be fit. I want you to really take that home. Your life, the life that you want to live is your benchmark for how well you are improving your health. That's what matters. You don't need to be like me. You don't need to be throwing up 165 pounds in order to be better from where you are today. Okay? Maybe just getting up and going for a walk is a start. Like I said, walking up and down the stairs, getting up and down out of your chair more often. Okay? That's all it takes. The 1% rule, I love the 1% rule. It's the only rule that I follow. And that just takes 1% more than you're doing today. The line over, this is one thing I love about the specific adaptation for imposed demands. The line for improving from where you are doesn't have to be a giant step, right? The line is here. That's all it takes. Just do more. There's no exercise science principle, concept, or paradigm that says it has to be X amount over the line. Just more. And that's, everybody's got a different more. Okay? We talk about in behavioral science, behavior change coaching, we talk about being ready, willing, and able to make a change. What are you ready to do? What are you willing to do? And what are you able to do? That's where you determine how far over the line you can go. Answer those 3 questions, and that gives you step number 1. Okay, how many people have something that they know they know they should do to make a change to improve their health and fitness, and they're just not ready to do it? Every hand should go up. Every single hand. I have things that I know I need to do. Okay, because where I'm at, while it may be different, it's still not where I want to be. So I have things that I have blockers. We all do. We all have them. All right, here's another principle, since I got 9 minutes left. This is actually going faster than I thought it would. We're going to end early? Nah, I'm going to draw it out. We're going to draw it out. Okay. General adaptation syndrome. When I talked about earlier that your body is designed to help you improve your fitness. This is one of the main concepts I want you to understand. The general adaptation syndrome. This is how your body responds to stress. Anybody ever seen this before? Okay? So when we are stressed, we put a training stimulus. We do something. We lift a weight. We go for a run. Okay? Our body's like, what's going on? And it has to respond. It has to do something. It has to start putting processes in place to provide the energy, get the muscles going, get the nervous system going. Okay? We provide that training stimulus. Our body goes into an alarm state. That's where it starts preparing for and executing what you're doing. How many people think that more is better? Chris? Okay. This is a trap that a lot of people get into. I want to eat less because if I eat less, I'll lose fat faster. I want to work out more because if I work out more, I'll gain muscle faster. The more you do, the less progress you're going to make. The more you do, the less progress you're going to make. Because what happens? See that line where it goes from training stimulus down to alarm? Right? Look at the second bubble, the second bump. Greater training stimulus. And see that line, the dotted line that goes to overtraining? That's what you're doing. Your body is designed to react to the stress and stimulus and then take a break. When it takes a break, it can get better and get prepared for the next time you apply that stimulus or that stress. If you never give it a break, you're diminishing your body's ability to respond because you're never giving it a chance. How many people see that with your kids or you're at work where it's like it just never stops? I never get a break. Do you feel like you're better over time when that happens? No, because it's the same with your body. We are designed to respond to a stress, have a little break, recover, and then we're better prepared to handle that stress the next time. And there's a concept called supercompensation. Is that on there? It's not on there. That's where the greater training stimulus and the rebound. So rebound is an easy way to talk about what we talk as supercompensation. That is, if I'm here and I add a stress, then my system is going to perform here, right? It's going to perform less. It's going to get tired. It's going to get wore out. If I give it a long enough rest, when it comes back, it's going to come back and be able to perform up here because now it's recovered. It's kind of like it knows what's coming, so it's better prepared to handle what you're going to do with it. Okay? That's how, when we add a stimulus, get outside of our comfort zone, and then give ourselves enough rest. What is rest? When I say rest, what are we talking about? Recovery is another word. What are some things when we talk about rest and recovery? What are we talking about? Not doing the same that you were just doing. Anybody else? Sleep. How many people get 8 hours of sleep a night? Too many hands. Sleep is huge. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're not giving your body that time to recover. How many people take at least 3 days off of physical activity? Any physical activity.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay? Right? So some of you need to start doing more. And some of you might need to chill out. The common things that I see are people who are doing, I'm trying to hit 10,000 steps, do an hour of cardio, and lift 3 days a week, or do a high intensity training class, or spin, or something like that. They're working out an hour and a half to 2 hours every single day. That is too much. Your body cannot recover. Okay? The type of training you're doing as well. Recovery can be affected by the type of training you're doing. You said not doing the same thing all the time. So if you're always doing cardio, when do you actually build your metabolic function? Where's the muscle coming from? Because it's not coming from walking, it's not coming from running, it's not coming from jogging, it's not coming from rowing or an elliptical. When are you building that function? The more muscle you have, the faster you can recover. So if you want to improve your recovery, start building some more muscle. If you want to improve your metabolic function, start building some muscle. Get more sleep. Take a couple of days off. You all see where I'm going with this? You ready for the next one? Eat more food.
That's scary.
Okay? What is recovery? When we talk about biological function, what does recovery need what does our body need to recover? It needs the materials, the nutrition in order to recover, to support what you're doing. So if you're not eating enough and you're trying to have a goal of weight loss, let's say, now I'm exercising, I'm overstressed. It's not even overtraining, that is overstressing. If you're going to exercise, you need to eat more. Okay? Everybody good with that? How many people are freaking out like, crap, he's telling me to eat more. What's going on here? I thought that was an exercise thing. Okay? That's all part of the equation. All right? In summary, guys, crawl. We're going to crawl. Crawl, walk, run. Don't try to take a bigger bite than you need to. Start where you are. What are you ready, willing, and able to do? And just start there and then build on that. At some point in time, no matter where you start, you're going to be like, this isn't really doing it for me. I need to do something more. That's when you know you're ready to go. What else can I do? How can I make this more challenging? How can I make this more fulfilling? There's a whole bunch of different aspects of how you can improve what you're doing and see that in your quality of life, not in the scale, not in any numbers, right? We're not doing this just to get a better A1C. We're not doing this just to get a better blood pressure. We're not doing this just to get a better inflammation score. We're doing this because we want to live better lives. Okay, you guys may have heard me say this before. Who cares what your A1C is? Who cares what your hypertension numbers are if you can't get on the floor and play with your grandkids? Right? Yes, those things matter, but they don't determine how well you're living your life. And that is what this is all about. Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
All right. A couple things to note before I finish. So Natalie, where are you at? Does everybody know Coach Nat? All right, we're hosting a conference in July in the Baltimore, Maryland area, Antithetic, Baltimore. So if anybody's interested in coming to the East Coast and hanging out with us, we got these guys, right? We got Kim. Where's Kim? Is Kim here? Kim Howerton. She was here somewhere. She's going to be speaking. We got a bunch of other people. Dr. Sybis will be there. Maria Emmerich will be there. There's going to be a bunch of people that will be coming and speaking. It's going to be a blast. So check out. Explain what antithetic means. Antithetic, the whole idea behind the conference is do something different. Be different, embrace being different, because what we're doing is different. Would you all agree with that? Yes. Okay? That's what it's all about. So come, enjoy embracing being a little counterculture and making a change that other people can't even imagine that the changes are that they can make. Okay? The other thing is Coach Nat and I, we also do couple stuff. So we're having a retreat in Gatlinburg, Tennessee in the middle of October. It's going to be me and her for a weekend. We're looking for 5 to 6 couples to come join us. And we have a bunch of cool stuff going on. We have a private chef that's going to be cooking keto carnivore food the whole weekend. We've got some other stuff we're planning, getting some people to come in and maybe help us along. So a couple things going on. Feel free to check it out. And I have some books back there. If anybody hasn't got my book yet, for sale for super cheap. And that's it.